And welcome to this edition of the Dragon's Tome. My name's Jack. I will be your host today, and with me, as always, are my two co-hosts. We have Rob.
Yo.
And Chopper.
Hi.
Hey, that went smoothly. Nice.
Smooth.
I learned my name today.
Like butter.
Smooth. Nice. And in this, if you're just joining us for the first time, we're just going to go through the Dragon magazine in chronological order. And thus far, we are in take the Wayback Machine. We're June 1978. The Halcyon Days of Dragon magazine. This is issue 15, and on the front we have a chariot situation. We have the driver who is shocked at the uncouth behavior of his passenger, who seems to be given the business to someone. What do you boys think about this?
I think he's angry because someone was making fun of how stunty his legs are.
His little skirt and his little legs. Yes. Yeah. You think so?
I hope she's standing on a box too, otherwise she's very tall. This is by Tramp, by the way. The person goes by the name Tramp. I do notice, look down by the wheel there. There is some blood splattering off their blades on their wheels, so they've hit somebody.
Tramp is the person who does Wormy.
Ah, there you go. This is a
Wormy. If I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Could be.
This is
We'll have to check that out.
At the time I was 6 years old, so I can't verify that it's the same person. I can't remember, but yes. So we have the diminutive fellow on the back there,
Ronnie
and
Theo.
His hands. Ronnie, learn how to hold a spear. Secondly.
Well, I'm sure that's someone who'll be like, that's how you hold a spear.
Well, I guess if I had a gold and silver mithril coat like that, I'd be holding a spear and like a fancy lad too. So that is the cover. Anyone else have anything to comment?
Nope.
I will comment. The version of this article I read earlier, or of this Dragon magazine, was a horrible scan, and it was chopped up and thing. But this version I got on my home computer, much better.
There's links to all the magazines in the show notes. So if you want to go check out the magazines we're talking about on your own, read the articles you'd like to read, you can do that. Look in the comments, or not the comments, in the show notes below. So, yeah.
You better do that right now. Actually, why wouldn't you?
I don't know.
Why wouldn't you just follow along?
Well, you're following along anyways, but I'm saying if you want to read something on your own, because it's right there. It's right. The magazine's right.
It's right there.
There. Anyways, can I speak about Dragon Rumbles now?
Of course.
I am hosting this show, and Rob,
yes.
Why aren't you speaking about the Dragon Rumbles? It's your job. Let's go. Come on.
This is the beginning of the third year for Dragon Magazine, and this whole article is just Mr. Timothy Cask bitching about things. He bitches about the post office. He complains about the post office for a few paragraphs. I guess they just don't like delivering Dragon Magazine to people, even when they pay for first. I guess there's something you can have a lifetime sub, which imagine getting a lifetime sub of Dragon back in the early days. I wonder if they honored it all the way to the end. That'd be pretty cool. But they used to send that first class mail, and they're like, yeah, second class mail sometimes gets there before first class mail. It's like, good one, post office. And he says most times it's supposed to get to the subscribers way before it gets to the shops and stuff, and the shops get it before them, just because the post office sucks. So it's nice to see that hasn't changed either. Another thing he bitches about is that cons used to be fun, and now they're just work. That's a direct quote from guys at TSR. Pat, can you relate to that?
I said it a million times, but I knew that going in.
Yeah. Well, this is the beginning.
They are work.
This is literally the first people to ever discover that cons are now work. So
but if you're
generations later.
If you're looking to push your product and you're looking to get fans, you're looking to get exposure, it's going to be work. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of funny he's complaining about it, but it's because these guys have just discovered this happens.
Yeah.
And he also mentions that Origins and Gen Con have both moved to bigger facilities in 1978. So they're all expanding. Everything's getting bigger, which is kind of cool. And that's it for Dragon Rumbles, Jack. Thank you for letting me speak on it.
You're welcome. And next time, just jump right in.
Okay.
Like this is a free form. There's no wrong answers. You should just jump right in. Okay. Well, then, Pat, why don't you give us your what is it that struck your fancy?
I am going to go down to page 5.
All the way down to page 5.
And then we come to what I like to call a link for charts.
Yes.
And this is just a simple chart to create.
Can we just for today, since I am the host, I am in charge. Can we call it Chopper's Charts? The new let's call it the segment Chopper's Charts.
Sure. You just call it that.
Okay.
Which one are you talking about? Pits?
The pits. Yeah. It's just very simple. Just you could have a pit of jelly or pudding. Depending how well you roll. It was authored by Merferger, the 11th and 3/4, Lord of Messick. I don't know even what that means, but
no,
it's his character, obviously.
Yeah.
Alias Richard Mornoff. Mornoff? There you go.
It's just a very plain and easy chart to make pits. I mean, like any one of us could have made this.
Yeah. It's almost so easy that it's nearly useless.
Yeah, but it struck my face as like, this is the greatest thing ever. It's just put in there as a variant for D&D because I couldn't use my own imagination to make a pit trap.
And it basically, okay, I've put this trip in, this pit in. My heart's set.
What am I gonna put it in? I just don't know.
I don't know. The pit is where I'm gonna draw.
I want someone to die here, but I don't know how I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah, maybe it's just gonna be something, some random junk at the bottom. Maybe it's gonna be a monster. I don't know. But that pit
sleep on it.
I'd have to
get up,
snakes.
And then you still can't fill it.
Much like the pit in my heart.
Jack, can I jump in for a second?
Most certainly. I welcome it.
I would like to talk about, on the exact same page, the random event tables for settlements and or settled areas. More tables.
Was that one of your...
That's why I asked which one you chose, because I chose the other one. But this one's actually useful, because it's a way to make your world feel alive in that stuff is happening in the background, even if your characters don't even see it, which is kind of cool.
I'm going to point out, though, maybe the guy put this up there because it looks like he's from Australia.
He is from Australia. So there have no settlements there. It's just all outback. So he must be this is what we would have if we actually had cities in our continent. Not just a dust bowl with dangerous creatures killing everybody.
Not just a bunch of people in striped coveralls shackled together, lumbering around.
Or with mohawks and people tied to the front of their cars fighting for gas.
That is true. It's one of the two.
What year was that? This might be before Mad Max.
This is definitely before Mad Max.
So a couple years after my prison colony joke, but a couple years before your Mad Max joke.
Because I think Mad Max was 82.
Yeah, I was thinking it was early 80s. Anyways, this is just random events in settled areas. It's kind of cool. So I just want to jump in there since we're on the same page. I didn't want to scroll to a different page.
It's a good segue because I know that article was pretty Yahoo serious, but it's a start to that kind of thing will blend right into mine, which is on page 14.
I was thinking the same thing.
Where are you?
There we are.
Weather in the wilderness.
More random tables.
This is one of my other ones.
And the thing is, I don't know if someone... Remember, there was a manual, and it was called the Wilderness Survival Guide.
Yep.
And I wonder if this is a preamble, because we now have, in this episode of Dragon Magazine alone, 3 different things to more or less lesser degree that you would find in what was probably, and I still have it somewhere, the most useless, for the most part, supplement for AD&D.
Oh.
But anyways, it's it can get cold.
I do like that it included weather-related diseases, though.
The Wilderness Survival Guide was written by someone called Kim Moen, so this is not the same person. I was just curious.
Not David Tillery, who has authored this Weathered in the Will.
Yeah.
Yes.
D&D did put out a lot of like Finnish hardcover books that were, a lot of them were useless. There was a few sets that were just like, oh, this is really just a way to make people buy things. And Wilderness Survival Guide was definitely one of them.
I remember there was some chart about falling that I was like, I've had to use before, and there was some other stuff, but for the most part, it was.
What was the one where it had the guy climbing on a what book is one that guy who's climbing on a cliff? It was like another one of those survival guides, I think. Anyways, they did put those. I'm sure there was charts that were useful, but like once again, like we said with the pits one, most of it you could wing.
The pit one. I laughed at the pit one because like, really, you had that? You're playing an imaginative game. And yet you still can't figure out what to put in your pit trap.
Random weather in your wilderness. It's like, shouldn't your weather be have a purpose to your story? Probably.
Yeah.
Like right.
It shouldn't be random. Like it's part of the story.
No.
Especially since it could really influence the story. Oh, you have a blizzard. Well, now we have to really deal with that instead of going to fight the kobolds or whatever we're going to go fight. But
yeah.
And they're like, okay, well, we'll have to shelter in place. We'll do this thing. All thinking, okay, what's this devious plot? No, I rolled it. Tomorrow it's going to be a light breeze. It's going to be good for sailing. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yes, that was my choice. Weather in the Wilderness by David Tillery. So I guess that leaves young Patrick to. If you got something else that tickled your fancy.
I do, and guess what it's going to be about? Guess what we're going to talk? We're going to go all the way down to page 32.
Ooh, that's a long way down.
At the very bottom of the page.
No. Another random counters.
It's another encounter. The cool thing I liked about this, though, is because I had played Boot Hill, as a matter of fact, and I have it. And this table, I think, was better than the table.
Yeah, random encounters are useful because sometimes you do want to just, hey, it's getting a little boring. Let's throw in a random encounter.
Yeah. So, and I was glad, and the reason I point this out too is because I'm glad we're starting to see all the other ones again, starting to pop up again instead of just D&D. We're starting to see some Boot Hill. Gamma World should start be making its scene soon because it's going to make its debut.
Yeah, that was going to be something about the ads, but there's Gamma World and AD&D Player's Handbook are debuting at Origins and Gen Con, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's a major thing.
So, and then, as we get further into it, we'll talk about Top Secret.
Yeah, there's...
I honestly didn't think Boot Hill went this far back, though.
Yeah, Boot Hill, yeah. I'm amazed it's this old, yeah.
So, I think this was the episode of Charts, man.
It was charting. But yeah, well, like you said, that they're starting to get they're starting to find their footing, whether it's a chart-based magazine or not. They're starting to, I don't know, you're starting to see more themes and cohesion. I know in later episodes and later issues, they'll do whole magazines around a certain theme. Mm-hmm. This just harkens a little bit to that, or not harkens, but little prognostication.
Precursor. Yeah, precursor
yes.
to what's to come.
I just want to also point out that there's a full page ad after the chart of Boot Hill of Legions of the Petal Throne.
That was
still trying to make
that was going to be that was going to be my ad. Yeah, for $5 you could get what was described as the fantastic, multifaceted Nature of Warfare game, and I'd never heard of it until we had started this show, and I don't know how long it's going to. How long its dying gasps will be until we're finally rid of.
Yeah, it's weird.
What has
it's something
been
that we never heard of. Yeah, it's strange how much it's getting play. Yeah.
Yeah, especially since it was a mini war game on top of that.
Well, and especially since it's TSR. TSR made this game. You'd think that you'd heard of all the TSR games, right? So
yeah,
it's crazy.
It wasn't for a lack of trying. They really shilled this thing a ton, and I couldn't have. If you'd have put a gun to my head 6 months ago and said, "Hey, do you know this game?" No, sorry, I'm done.
Bam.
Little did we know it turns into a Warhammer or something. Like it's.
I'd like to also then point out another ad on page 30.
We're just skipping ads now, are we?
30.
That's the Gen Con ad?
Yeah. What caught my attention here is right in the middle. Special event, Dungeon Championship. This is when that Dungeon board game came out.
Oh.
That they put out TSR. Where you played an elf, there's a thief, a magic user, I want to say fighter. And then no, I think it was fighter. I'd have to break it out. I have it.
I do too.
And it was just a simple basic game, the color of the room determined what level of the dungeon you were in. I think I remember orange being first level. And as you went further down, the harder the monsters were. And it was just a simple D6 die roll. I think it's funny that they have a championship being played at Gen Con 11.
And we've discussed how the magazine's starting to improve its looks. Color, you can't knock that. That's 4-color printing right there.
Yeah. You're right. Black, yellow, green, and red.
We're gonna have our own Dungeon Championship when you come out for Adepticon.
No. I do have another article since you've been going through all the ads.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yes,
sorry.
Please. Like I said, jump right in. Just because I'm in charge of this episode, just feel free.
This is the most chaotic episode. We used to have order, just chaos. It's my last one anyways, but I just wanted to point out on page, I think it's on page 9.
I hope it's a chart.
No, it's notes from another barely successful D&D player by Jeff Swikaffer.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know.
And this guy sounds as annoying as hell to play with. He's too smart for his own good. And at one point he actually suggests becoming a drug dealer. So I'd like to say that, and I like even how he's like, oh, if these become a regular column, and the editor's like, don't count on it. So even the editor was sick of these by then.
I hope not. This better not be a trend that continues because, like I've said in the past, I don't know if it was, I don't think it was last week, but 2 weeks ago, I don't know. It was a while ago. I said, no one cares. No one cares about stories from your home game. No one.
Well, this guy thinks he's smart, but he's not smart.
Well.
And I like how most things he describes, this is a good thing to do, and he says, oh, it didn't work in my game. But this is a good thing to do. Oh, it didn't work in my game. But yeah, he does say to smuggle drugs into cities. So that's one thing. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, I'm glad you took the time to bring that up. The show
I wanted to shame Jeff Swikaffer. Shame.
So while we're doing that, then let's go back to page 16 and 17. And we complained about the scans, but now they seem to have figured out what was going wrong.
Yeah, they're much better now than Fantasy Forge. Yep.
Yeah, you can actually see the pictures now.
And it's still got the black background, but you can actually see the pictures of the miniatures.
And there's some here that I would want to have. Like when I looked
bunny with a laser.
There's no, not the bunny with the laser, but there's a crazy stompy robot there too. But
I like the Bandito.
There's the Cowboys and Banditos at the top, and there's the one down at the bottom, the Space Bandito. But there's like some John Carter, Warlord of Mars Martians down here. Like I don't know. I think it's a little too early to say, but I think the quality of the miniatures are starting to like that of the ads we're seeing. The sculpts themselves
are getting better. Yeah. Like it used to be like, this is a blob and this is this. Now it's just like, oh, there's actual detail in some of these miniatures.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's getting pretty impressive just in a few years. I think it's cool.
Very nice. Well, if that's everyone's done.
I think so.
Like other than like we were saying, here it is, the ad for Gamma World coming to Origin 78 and Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Player Handbook coming to Gen Con 11. That's the big news in this one. It's Gamma World. And AD&D Player's Handbook. It's funny, I would never thought the Player's Handbook came out before the GM, right? That's kind of odd.
I
guess it's because it's got the character creation in it.
Yeah, and all that stuff. And then the DM gives you extra stuff to run the game, yeah.
You don't really need the GM as much as you need players, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, because then you'll get extra charts, like I think the age and weight tables are in the GM's guide.
Random loot, random monsters,
yeah.
GM.
So.
Yeah, that's kind of funny, though.
But it must have been a huge process to get the writing and then the just the faffing about trying to get to the printer and the binding, and you would have to in a small company, which it must have still been a relatively small company. They couldn't have done a both together situation. That's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah, it seems like they're doing like a couple months new book, which is still pretty fast, but not all at once, yeah.
Yeah, you weren't going to get them both dropping at the same time. Here, DMs, grab your book. Players, grab your book. Let's go. Okay. Well, I think that is a very well orchestrated episode we just did. That went by swimmingly. Rob, get that off your face. Get that face off your face. So, I hope everyone enjoyed episode 15 of the Dragon's Tome. Come back next time. We're gonna be doing episode 16 because we are doing chronological order. Who's gonna be hosting? Do I get to pick? Do I get to choose who goes?
I think it's me.
Oh! There's. Stay tuned.
I point at Pat, but my finger disappears.
So
Patrick.
It's gonna be. Yes. Okay, well then, everyone, we shall bid you adieu. I've been Jack.
I've been Jobber.
And I'm Rob.
Adios.
Bye-bye.